Are we on?
We're on.
All right. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Dave and Joe Liberty Stand. And when you look that up on YouTube, there's no "the" there. It's just Dave and Joe
Yeah.
Liberty Stand. But Joe has a great story he'd like to share about somebody he met, and we'd like to he wants to talk about that, and we'll kind of explore that as he goes along. So
Yeah. So I was ran into somebody on the street the other day, and I knew them. We used to go to church it's a lady, it's an older lady, probably in her 70s, and we were talking about. Well, I was sharing with her my journey with the Lord because I grew up in the church and had been baptized, had received Christ, and made my confession of faith in Christ. And she knew me then. I mean, I was like 12, 13 years old, and
wow,
then
that was a long time ago.
later, yeah, a long time ago. And then later in life, I kind of after that, as I became a teenager, and this may be common with a lot of people out there, a lot of you out there that are listening and seeing this, but I walked away from God, walked away from my faith in a sense. I mean, it was still there. I would define it in the terminology I've heard recently is called a cultural Christian, where like someone is born or raised, I'm sorry, in the church, and so like because I'm in the pew, I'm a Christian. I mean, it's kind of we kind of.
But you weren't practicing any longer.
But we consider ourselves a Christian. I would have called myself a Christian, or the same meaning. A Christian, what that means is you're a follower of Jesus Christ. Excuse me. So a Christian, that's what a Christian is. Someone who follows Jesus, confesses Jesus as their Lord and Savior, and lives their life.
I'm sorry if I wasn't listening when we
No.
were talking about this before.
No, you're fine.
Now, did she come up to you, recognize you, or did you recognize her?
I recognized her.
And you came up to
and
say hi?
I said, yeah. I said hi.
Okay.
And so I just proceeded to tell her kind of my point was in all of this and getting to the point more so is I was just kind of telling her like because I knew her when I was younger, and then meeting her or seeing her again, I'm like, hey, this is where I'm at. This is what God's doing in my life. Just kind of, it's just like, me sharing with someone about a friend of mine. I mean, that's the way we as followers of Jesus, we're a friend of Jesus. He's our friend. I mean, he's more than that, obviously, but it's like, it's a close relationship. And so I was sharing my relationship with the Lord with her.
And she threw you a loop a little bit.
Yeah, she did. I mean,
right.
She grew up in the church, and what she told me, and this has been, oh my gosh, probably 30 years.
No, wait, I want to set this back a little bit.
Okay.
When this happened to Joe, we work like right by each other, and a lot of times he'll say, meet for lunch, which I eat my lunch real quick and I go out to have as many cigarettes as I can, and he'll run over to talk with me while I have cigarettes. I really think it's for the secondhand smoke, but
that I'm trying to get the secondhand smoke.
But after we were done, I went back in and was working, and it was probably 10 minutes later, and I'm walking by the window, and I told my boss, I said, Greg, holy crap. Joe's out there still, 10, 15 minutes later, talking to this lady in the parking lot. He's not back at work yet.
It was my lunch break. I was on, God provided the time.
First of all, he was with me for like 20 minutes. And then he's
you
out
have
there.
a 20-minute lunch break?
I ate quickly that day. Anyway,
okay.
I have a half an hour, but it just takes me a minute. Anyway, half an hour later goes by, and I walk by, and I'm like,
yeah.
He's still out there talking to that lady. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and I mean it. There was points in the conversation that kind of, I mean, as I was listening to her share, and pretty much what she said after I shared, where the Lord had brought me, and I shared, the fact where what I'm doing with work and what I'm doing with men's ministry through Man in the Mirror, and then she proceeded to tell me that she pretty much denies Jesus as the Messiah. Well, she does. She denies Jesus as the Messiah. So she denies Christ as the only way for salvation that God provided. And she proceeded to also say something to the effect that we're all good. Ultimately, all people are good. So that excuses the notion that we don't need a Messiah. But then yet she did acknowledge the fact that there is a Messiah in a way. And I was kind of confusing, I guess, if I think about it more. But ultimately, everyone's good. Oh, everyone's going to heaven. That was the other thing. And
that's good news for us all, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And so I was listening to Ray Comfort talking about this Friday, and he said that if that's the case, and he didn't know, I mean, he just was talking about a similar thing.
Right. You didn't call him and tell him.
No, right.
Right.
But one thing he said that made sense, he's like, so Hitler is ultimately good, and he's going to be celebrating in heaven.
He liked dogs a lot.
Oh, okay, so he's a good person.
And the railroad ran on time.
Because when Hitler was in charge.
Absolutely, yeah.
So ultimately, what? So this is all leading up to the topic that Dave wanted me to talk about, which we're running out of time like crazy.
I know, that's why I keep interrupting to speed you up.
Let's just finish up this part of it about where all people are good. So what do you think about that, Dave? All people are good.
I think for the most part, I think there are certain people, a very small percentage, they're just no damn good at all. There's a small percentage of people that are just born that way. I don't know why.
Oh, you mean like evil people.
Evil.
Right.
I don't know why.
But
I think that's so small. I think most people
are decent.
Have a decency
morals
inside of them. Even
based on
maybe they've been kicked around. Maybe they've had a crappy whatever it is, whatever the reason is. But I do believe
so they've been hurt.
If they've given it for whatever reason, yes.
And they're lashing out, maybe.
But you know what? Hey, we all have our own stories, right? I mean, none of us grew up with sunshine and puppies.
Well, and I love. Yeah. Sorry.
If you do something that puts you in prison and stuff, I'm sorry. You might have goodness in you, but you're not exercising it, are you? Or trying to tap into it. So you need a lesson, and that'll either make you straighten it out, or it won't, and you'll just.
Oh yeah.
So I do.
But in that case, though, that person made a mistake. So ultimately, is that person good?
Some people.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess what defines good? I mean, okay? You know what defines good sometimes with some people is like I'm comparing myself to you. I'm better than Dave is because I don't do X, Y, Z.
I'm the constitutional guy. Remember?
Okay, sorry.
You don't touch me in a harmful way. You don't steal.
Oh, thank you. Because I just touched you.
You don't steal. You don't steal my stuff. You don't. I'm talking about the basic laws that everybody is afforded by God.
But
if you do these things, if you take from somebody, if you harm somebody else,
the law of the land,
the law of the land.
No,
that's not just the law of the land. Law of the land came from the Bible.
Right.
So it's all connected. Who is really long white hair is that? But anyway, Joe, you need a haircut.
Great.
But anyway.
Well, okay, so going back to the argument that ultimately we're all good, when it comes down to it, we're all good, all people are good, and we're all going to heaven. One thing I love
that theory, though. It's a nice, beautiful theory. I wish it was
So
true.
why is it a theory?
Because it's not.
What's the big deal about us? Okay, so we should all go to heaven? I mean, is it? Should we just all be able to walk into heaven? And why shouldn't we?
We are judged on how we treat each other. You know this. You're the God guy. You tell me.
Well, we're judged on how we obey God's law,
which is
the 10 Commandments. And I love this. If you're good, okay. And I love Ray Comfort. We need to post stuff. We'll post stuff about Ray.
I thought you were going to say we need to get him on the show.
Yeah, we should. I'm serious. He is awesome. But you know Kirk Cameron.
The weather guy?
No, Kirk Cameron, the actor.
Oh yeah,
He's become a born again believer, and he's really active in the Jesus
And
movement,
you know how
I guess.
you know him. He'll come on the show.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, but he's involved with Ray Comfort and stuff he does. But Ray he'll talk to an atheist, okay, and he'll approach it like this. He'll say, you know, the argument of there's no God and all people are good kind of thing maybe would be something. But he'll say, yeah, oh yeah. So Ray will ask them questions like, have you ever lied? Have you ever stolen? Have you ever lusted after a woman? So he'll say you're a self-confessing liar.
Now that last one, if you're a single guy.
Well, no, wait. Okay, right. But he'll get someone, or not get him to. They acknowledge that they are not good. Ultimately, they're not. I mean, we could steal. I stole a little book from Kmart when I was like, I might go to jail for this. But when I was like maybe 10 years old.
Statutes of limitations.
Okay? Hey, when I was 10, that was only 5 years ago. Hey, he wants to be 21 again. We'll get to that later.
You look terrible at 15.
Well, let's wrap this up. Can you wrap it up for us?
Hey guys, thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
In that last number 12 show, we're gonna brush up on our facts on that and try to redo that.
I got lashed on that.
We had a talk. But
all right,
we love you guys.
Yeah.
Come back soon. We're gonna do another one here in a minute. So
yep. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you later.
God bless you. Bye bye.